Hello, loyal fans. This is about Citadel color contrast. I finally got my hands on it after a few months of them being out, and my leg is kind of in a good enough condition to actually airbrush and do things about it. So immediately after buying a bunch of new lizardmen, which more than completes my lizardman army, just requires me to paint a lot, I decided, well, if I want to go with a red color scheme, which I always did, but with yellow scales instead of what these are, like even darker red scales on the ones that have been painted before, um, I wanted to try and work that simple color scheme with Citadel contrast, and the best result is this dude. The yellow is Agaros Dunes, which is right there. Not my favorite yellow. Probably should have gotten a different one. However, this might be perfect once you highlight with more yellow colors. I'm really happy with how that came out. Maybe not the skull helmet as much. I may have wanted to add a little bit more contrast and then highlight on top of it. First guy I painted was this old guy. This is with the blood red contrast over white. I'm not the happiest with how like bloody the red looks, but I should have known after using Citadel Blood Red for many years now. I do like the contrast. Like that is, I don't know if we're in um, focus, but that's very good for just being a pure white undercoat. You can see a lot of the contrast. I did a poor job of the yellow, obviously, because I made some mistakes, and what you're supposed to do with contrast is paint white over where you made the mistakes and then add your next color. I was too lazy and rushed through them. I'm just looking at really quick results right now. This was the second guy I did. It looks great, as far as I'm concerned. It might not be the yellow I always wanted, but with those kind of results, that's pretty good. This is the scab red, just for perspective. Just a straight normal scab red over, I'm assuming, a white undercoat. And not what I want, it's just what these models already had. And it's okay. And then I added the Agaros tunes for the shield and the weapon. So yeah, those guys, they look better. I don't know if that red is exactly what I want, but that's okay. I then tried some of these witch elves, because I have about 60 of them I've never painted. The hair snakebite leather, that one. And I think this one was the Golem and Flesh. I have Golem and Fire Slayer. I'm not really sure which one I used on what, but I'm pretty happy with that. And that model fell. Thankfully, it's one piece metal. I think this one was the lighter one, and I used less, and it looks like a lighter color scheme. The thing I'm not so sure about is that if you use nothing but contrasts, you'll end up with a model color scheme that looks very watercolored, which is kind of what this one's looking like. If you like that, that's great. If you don't, I'm not so happy about it. But considering these models were primed, mostly primed, like this face was still very metal. You can see like her face is so metallic. There just wasn't much white on her to begin with. That's okay. I do like those results. If I obviously did a better basing, undercoating with Zenithal, could have worked out better. This guy is part of the 50 Ungors over there. As you can see, I don't really like the fur color. It stands out too much. It's too much of one color. That is like with a few highlights, but not my favorite. I added I think it's the snake, no, I think it's the Agaros Dunes to this. And I love how that fur looks afterwards. And the rope part. The rope part's not the best, but add a bit of silver to the metal parts, and this guy's done. So I'm glad I waited. I was lazy on not finishing them. And then I went to these guys. Because I have a huge ogre army. And some of them were already undercoated gray. Gray is the other undercoat color for contrast. that they recommend. So this isn't the contrast gray. It's a gray from a number of years ago. I can't remember which flesh color I used. Painted 3 of these guys, and this one was zenithal highlighted. Probably by accident, I don't know, but this part was darker. And the blue is Archelian green. I know it says green, but it's an actual blue. I really like it. The flesh looks great on ogres. I mean, I already knew that with even normal colors is easier to highlight because it's like a much bigger muscles, bigger body, easier to not make mistakes. And then snakebite leather on the hair and the weapon handle. I love that, and that was a really easy paint job. Here's another dude. So to do this so quickly and basically just add a metal color and then we're good, made me think, well, maybe I should start painting my ogre kingdoms, because I'm just really behind. I've got about a month to go to get some stuff done. So after a little bit of work getting these guys and undercoating the rest in gray, this is the army that's going to be painted. Fingers crossed. So this is about 8,000 points. Some of this had already been undercoated. Obviously all these colors I hadn't done. I'm not really that happy with how that looks, but they're bright colors, which is a good thing. You add a contrast over it, and it should add most of what I want, assuming I want all 5 ninjas to be in all 5 different colors. We'll see. These two guys, the mounts have been painted by a different person, and I actually really like how those go, so I'll use a contrast on this brown to not necessarily make them look like those two, but make them look good. Same with those two. These two I airbrushed yesterday, and I'm kind of happy with that brown. It doesn't have to be the exact same, so I'll probably highlight that a little bit, but it's not bad. It's a good start. Also a giant. Oh, and same with these. I did all 4 of these guys airbrushing. I think that's pretty good. Oh, and the scrap launcher. So this is the project. Tons of contrast paints. I'll need a few more colors, more than these, but at least to get the main skin color and the blue down. Not all of them are going to use the blue. Some of them are already painted, like their pants are already painted a certain color. I'll leave it that color. I may put a contrast on top of it. We'll see. Anyways, back with the results at some other point. Thanks for watching.